Hey everybody, Spaz here. Welcome to another edition of But Is It Power Pop? Today I have a special guest with me, Mr. Ronnie Barnett.
Hey everybody, it's an honor to be here and see how it's done.
Yeah, see how it's done, and he's gonna learn from the master. A lot of people.
Now I look red and shiny like you.
Yeah, exactly, and the glasses. Now, a lot of people may know him as the star of Scooby Doo. No, actually, Ronnie plays bass for Xenophobia.
Yes.
No, actually, for the Muffs, and he's in town, and he loves this stuff just as much as I do. What I want to do before we start talking about the CDs and stuff like that, we want to discuss something in paper form, and Ronnie brought it with him, and he's going to tell you about it.
This is the Yellow Pills book. It's been in the works for a long time. This compiles every issue. Jordan Oakes was the editor. I know he'd worked on this. Yeah, there's been a GoFundMe for a few years, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it finally came out, and it's every issue, and what a great magazine Yellow Pills was. It was in the 90s, and, you know, they were interviewing Emmett Rhodes, and there's one issue here that's like Rubinus, Paul Collins, Sneetches, Loud, you know, like, yeah, it's just great. I only had a few issues left. I don't know what happened to them, as we lose things.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's great to have them all here, and he had a little new content at the beginning too.
He's this is one of the obviously titled, or the fantasy was titled Yellow Pills, based on the 2020 song, and a lot of us just we discovered bands through Yellow Pills. I mean, Jordan has been along with, like, let's say Bruce Brodeen from Not Lame. Jordan has been a mover and a shaker, and you know, I think that we as pop fans, we owe him a lot, and this right here. I know that I wrote a couple things for Yellow Pills. I don't know if they ever made it. If they did, they're in that book. Either that or I got the cut. But I will tell you, though, that because of Yellow Pills, this is what Popsided was something that, here's just 3 of the 9 issues. Popsided was a fanzine that I was co-editor of, and I think that we didn't want to compete with Yellow Pills. We always sort of felt that Popsided was, hey, if you like Yellow Pills, you might like this. Sort of like we were the Pandora of fanzines. You know, sort of like you know, a lot of the stuff. Ruben, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
I mean, this is absolute classic. But yeah, definitely check out that book if you like power pop in print.
And books that are only available in expensive forms online.
You may want to get some of Ken Sharp's Play On Power Pop Heroes interview books. These things are like jam-packed full of fun.
Great.
And I believe that I'm missing the 4th one.
You're missing the 4th one.
I'm missing the 4th one.
And number 5 will be coming soon too.
Oh, good.
There's a number 5, yeah.
Yeah, so
save your money.
But that is it with Pop in Print. Thank you for bringing the Yellow Pills.
Is it Power Pop? Yes.
Yes, it is Power Pop.
Definitely.
Yes, it is Power Pop. I'm going to talk about something right now. We're going to get to the music. I'm going to talk about a band called The Late Show. This is a 1980 album, and it is absolutely stunning and fantastic. Is it power pop? It is supreme power pop. If you're into like Pez Band and Fool's Face and some of the, you know, Midwestern independent power pop things, The Late Show is absolutely a stellar, stunning release. And it's called Portable Pop, and it's on the Trashy Creatures label, so check it out online. This is the remaster of the original studio album. Actually, I lied. There actually is bonus tracks. You can also get a live album by The Late Show that Ronnie is going to go get, and he's got it in his hand right here. You can also get that on the Trashy Creatures label. I recommend you to, if you're into just pure great power pop, straight ahead power pop, this is definitely a band to check out.
It's amazing. It's so obscure. Actually, it's that good. Like it's off Broadway. Like it's I would put them alongside those classic groups that you mentioned as well.
I totally agree. Even something like the Flash Cubes.
Yeah.
That first Flash Cubes record. There's I can't remember the name of the band, but never mind.
One of them.
Yeah, but this is definitely a band that you should check out if you're a power pop fan. Do you have something to share with us?
Well, I don't know. You mentioned the Flash Cubes. Shouldn't that lead into... Not to give the next one away.
Ronnie's paying attention here.
Showbiz.
What I want to talk about is a brand new album from Flash Cubes. It is called Brilliant, and guess what? If you're into power pop, you are going to agree with the title. My friend Matthew Street, who also has a channel on YouTube, he sent me this, and because he knew that I was going to love it, and he loves it as well. This is absolute, just pure, straightforward power pop, and I'd say it's just right up there with their classic albums. It's the classic Flash Cubes power pop formula, but it doesn't sound like they're trying to relive the 70s. It sounds like a modern sounding record, and it is fabulous. You can also right now get a Gary Frenet solo album there. And you can't find this anymore, but I was lucky enough to have stumbled across this about a week ago, and there's an early Gary Frenet solo record, and that's not for sale unless you have $100. Can
I see that? Flash Cubes, yeah.
Yes.
I've not heard this, but it's nice of Matthew to send this to me too. Just kidding.
No. Just call Gary Frenet.
I'll buy it.
Okay, $20.
I have the other ones.
Yeah.
$20
from me if you want to buy it. But no, definitely check that out. Now, let's go over to Ronnie Barnett.
All right. Well, is it power pop? I'm from Houston, Texas, and I grew up in the Texas scene was great when I was growing up. And this band, the Judas, was huge in Houston. It's amazing that, the word would have got out. I mean, they seem to be really big in Houston. But it seemed like a regional thing. I never read anything in mainstream press about them. I know they were filling clubs. First, they were opening for Talking Heads and B-52s. Then they were headlining the same clubs, and they would you kind of see they were a three-piece, but some songs were just bass and drums. Some were the traditional guitar, bass, drums. Some two of the guys would hold a keyboard, and the guy in the middle would play. They had all different, but they were conceptual. And they were just so good. And is it power pop? Some songs definitely are power pop.
I've been searching for these albums for ages, and I knew about them, but I guess they were kind of like a Fool's Face, or some of those like the Scruffs or something like that, where maybe only a couple copies made it to the West Coast, and that's why I was never able to find one.
Yeah, they were, and they this was their big record. By the way, fitting with your format, yeah, there's bonus tracks. Actually, the bonus tracks are they put their original EP on that one. They kind of broke up a year after this record, and David Bean, the leader, I hate to call him the leader, the guy. Anyway, he finished off the tracks, made an EP, came out in '82, called Moto Music, and then they reformed for the Moo album in 1985. So Moto Music is bonus tracks on this Moo CD. And,
awesome.
And, it got to be like 90, 91, and I'd moved to California. I remember hearing there was a weird Judas CD that I saw at Record Exchange, and I was like, I need it. Can you get it for me? And it disappeared, and it turned out to be this. David Bean had reformed a new Judas. And, to be honest, it's not as good as... But are they
it's good to have
pop?
it in the collection, right?
They are. It is good to have in the collection. Of course, I need everything. But again, they do have some power pop songs. Radiation Squirm, which has a great line. Girl, I want to see your reactor glow. It's a great line.
You see, the thing about the Judas is I've tried to find the stuff online and you can't find it for cheap. So if anybody has copies of those, let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know.
I guess he came out like 10 years ago, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I haven't been able to find. I checked online the website, which is what's it called? Wasted. It's Wasted Talent
Yeah.
Records.
that was their label.
Their label. For the last couple of years, it said that they're updating their website or whatever. But yeah, I do need to get a hold of those. Now let's go from the old stuff we've been talking about to something new. Ronnie has not been able to hear this. This is a brand new single from a band called London Egg. They're an East Coast band. This is another thing that my buddy Matthew Street sent me. This is absolute pure power pop. I know a lot of people are really going to dig it. This one here is only 3 tracks. All 3 are just stellar power pop songs. And of course, I mean, just judging by that cover, you know that this is going to be power pop. But you never know really what it's going to be like until you listen to it. This is absolutely stellar. 3 great power pop songs, great hooks, melodies, choruses, everything you want in power pop. The band also has a collection of like earlier stuff on CD, and you know that this is old because on the back it has a MySpace address. But yeah, this is definitely a band to check out. If you can find something, buy them online. But I recommend London Egg Now 3-track single EP. And I thank you, Matthew Street, for turning me on to them because I'd never heard them before until he sent them to me as a gift, and I really appreciate it.
This might be a dumb question. Is London Egg from London?
No, they're East Coast.
Gotcha.
But maybe that's where they buy their eggs. Okay, what do you have?
I don't mean to call out London Egg on the name. Next, I have one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yes.
The Fabulous Poodles. This is... they have a weird calendar. There's actually 2 albums that came out in the UK.
There's 3.
Don't get ahead of me. There's 2. There's 2, right? And then they compiled the 2 to make the American Mirror Star.
No.
Am I right on that?
There is the first album,
Unsuitable.
Then there is the UK Mirror Star.
Yes.
They took songs off the UK Mirror Star, added songs from the first album, then made the American. So
yes.
Yes.
Isn't that what I said?
Okay, never mind.
Anyway, the first band I saw in a club was the Fabulous Poodles on the Think Pink tour. I used to be able to get in clubs when I was 15. It was amazing. And, there's power pop elements to them, but they're not, I wouldn't call them power pop. Steven?
No, but they have great songs.
They do have great songs. So, perfect. See? It's so good it's represented twice.
No, it's actually, they're a great, in my opinion, very rootsy based. Their roots go back to like, rock and roll. Like When the Summer's Through is very Buddy Holly. They do Man with Money, which I think was a Everly Brothers song.
Yes.
So their roots are based in rock and roll, but Tony Demure, which wasn't his real name, I forgot his real name, he just wrote some great songs. And then Bobby Valentino. See, the thing about the Poos was they had a bassist, drummer, guitar player, and a violin player. Rock violin.
Yeah.
And it was unique. And Bobby Valentino had the little Clark Gable mustache. And he also, did you know that he played the fiddle on Bluebell's Young at Heart?
I did know that.
Yeah.
And he has like a kind of a thriving solo career.
Yeah. But he's not the R&B Bobby Valentino. That.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I saw Bobby Valentino come out with an album, I'm like, oh.
But these records on vinyl, you can still find them in stores for reasonable prices.
Yes,
and they're around. And seriously, every track is great.
Absolutely,
every track.
Yeah.
So this band really holds up for me, and I really love them dearly.
And then another thing I wanted to mention, which I'm probably stepping all over Ronnie, but it is my show. It's not called But Is It Ronnie Barnett?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. The drummer ended up in Fur. Brian
Burrows. Brian's a friend of mine, actually.
Yes, I knew that, and I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. He's a great guy and still plays.
Yes.
Actually, so does Tony Demure under the name Ronnie Golden.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. He works a lot and actually did a solo gig in New York a couple years ago.
I saw that. I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, where he's doing.
Yeah.
Fabulous Poodle songs.
Yeah, but Brian did. He was in Freur, and then Freur became Underworld, and we'll talk about Underworld in an edition of But Is It Techno? So
I never knew how to pronounce Fleur. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And since he talked about Fab Poodles, let me bring up Power Pop Blasts. I bet you're thinking, holy crap, I need that. Well, guess what? Power Pop Blast isn't exactly the Power Pop that you and I sort of think about. It's kind of like punk pop got really sad because nobody was paying attention to it anymore, so it changed its name to Power Pop. This thing here is more influenced by Blink-182 and all that kind of crap, and it's worthless. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the right thing to do with that.
Yeah.
I thought you might have I've only got one more, so you...
Okay.
Yeah, continue on.
Let's discuss something here that is just really near and dear to my heart, and probably Ronnie's too.
Oh, yeah.
Bram Tchaikovsky, or Bram Tchaikovsky, just depends on how you want to pronounce it. I've heard it both ways over the years. I call him Bram Tchaikovsky. Great band. Peter Bramall was a guitar player, played with the Motors, and he was on the Motors' first two albums, but he broke away, formed a band called Bram Tchaikovsky, and it's absolutely, that first album is stellar. The first album, Strange Man, Changed Man, has Girl of My Dreams, and that has become a power pop classic. But is Bram Tchaikovsky power pop?
I mean, that song definitely is.
That song is, but they're not. They're a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
They are basically a rock and roll band with great tunes.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely fabulous. But Bram Tchaikovsky had two albums, and I've got both of those Japanese CDs. These things went out of print before they even came out. And they don't have bonus tracks. The good thing about this, now this did come out on Hippo Select, and it was the Hippo Select version, which is also out of print, had the American track order. And this has the UK track order, which is just a couple song difference or whatever. But it's still kind of cool to have that way. I don't have the Hippo Select version. But this is I love this record. A lot of people didn't care. It's a little more rock and roll, less poppy, but it's great.
It's hard to top that first one, let's face it.
What was that?
It was hard. There's no way it could have been
Yeah, exactly.
So that record is perfect.
I mean, I remember days when I'd be getting ready for school. I was in junior high school. Because I was kind of a cool kid when I was buying this stuff when I was, 16 years old and in junior high school, or maybe high school, maybe freshman year. But I'd be getting ready for school, and it was really hard for me to get ready for school because I had to have my headphones on, the big ass things, and I'd be listening to like Lonely Dancer and stuff like that off of this record, and I distinctly remember. Just waiting for my buddy to show up so we would watch school together, and I'd be listening to Bram Tchaikovsky or the Jam or the Records or something.
We should also say that you might know this album in America as Pressure.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the album is called Pressure in America.
Different
and it has
cover.
A different cover.
Yeah.
Same exact track order, though.
Yeah. And then there's also Funland.
Funland is a great... Okay, this was produced by Nick Garvey, who was one of the two main guys in the Motors. And Funland, which is a far mellower record... it didn't have the band because basically for these two albums, Bram Tchaikovsky was a band, and it was really their sound. It was the sound of Mickey Broadbent, and Brahms' harmonies was a really important part of the band's sound. And after they split up, it was a whole different ball game. It was just Brahms. Those unique harmonies. It wasn't as heavy. But Funland, which is not on CD, was also produced by Nick Garvey from the Motors.
It's kind of like This is Welcome to My Nightmare, as compared to the early Alice band.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll go ahead.
He's going to go ahead, and this is another older title. What I wanted to mention is I very rarely feature vinyl on the show, only because I don't collect vinyl. But Ronnie does.
I was going to say.
And Ronnie brought these all the way from Los Angeles, California.
brand new thing for But Is It Power Pop?
Yes.
Records.
Records.
And that's
Vinyls.
It's essential. I had to bring these because they've never been on CD. Mm-hmm. And this is the one thing. There's a lot of things I've always wanted on CD, but this band, I love this band, The Brains. They're from Atlanta. They had 2 records on Mercury here. It's the first one in the Electronic Eden. They kind of got a new rhythm section after this and had an EP, Dancing Under Streetlights, which actually got some MTV play.
Yeah.
But this, I guess they will always be known. Tom Gray, the singer-leader, wrote Money Changes Everything, which is on this record, which, of course, Cyndi Lauper made a hit of. And but when that song is sung by a man, it's totally different. You know, when a man is singing with a girl, you know, that I love that line, I've met someone new who's waiting in the car outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, that coming from a man just means so much. But, anyway, I was lucky enough to see this band at the Island in Houston on this tour. It's still one of the best shows I've ever seen. And, God, I just can't believe that they're not on CD.
Omnivore?
Yeah,
where are you?
I mean, yeah, they're on Mercury, so you get into that weird licensing stuff.
No, that's true.
But, yeah, somebody please.
Wounded Bird?
Yeah. Seriously, I would buy these.
So would I.
So that's
I would buy them for Ronnie.
2 of each.
Yeah.
2 sales each.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also just Tom Gray, the leader, is in kind of a bluegrassy, rootsy band called Delta Moon these days.
Oh.
Which works quite a lot in Europe, and they put out a lot of CDs. I got a few of them. And Rick Price, the guitar player, ended up being the bass player in the Georgia Satellites, which always freaked me out because he's such a great guitar player.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the Georgia Satellites are great. Let's face it. But, yeah, he ended up being the bass player in the Georgia Satellites. Awesome. So, anyway, The Brains, vinyl. Is it power pop? No. But it's melodic, and it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not power pop. But you see, remember, that's why we're doing this, is people go through the bins and they try to find old stuff, and they go, oh, is this power pop? Or what kind of music is this? It's not power pop, but people who listen to power pop are going to dig it.
Yeah. And again, if you find, these records aren't as common as they used to be, but if you do find them, they are reasonable. You know. Yeah. Reasonably priced.
Exactly. I'm going to talk about something new since we've covered old stuff here. I'm going to talk about the Red Button. Oh my gosh, I have talked about the Red Button before. I've talked about Seth Swirsky. He's got some great solo records out. I mean, just Seth Swirsky alone, you need to buy his stuff. But Seth also puts out albums as a duo under the name The Red Button. And they put out 2 albums. And these are the 2 albums right here. Basically, what this CD is, which is damn amazing, is this is the first 2 albums on one disc, and the second disc is an EP of new songs and acoustic tracks. And if you're into, I mean, this is just jangle. It's melodic. It's pretty. It's gut punching. It's ball busting. It's just tuneful. And then you get to look at the discs. I love Marty and the Jam Record stuff because they get smart. And obviously, since the Red Button is a little Beatlesque, their CD labels resemble the Capitol labels, the old Capitol labels. And that's just friggin' beautiful. That right there, you need to go out. And this is a 2 CD set, and you get 2 of these Capitol type things. They are absolutely, it's a stunning collection because, as I said, it has both albums on disc 1 and plus a new EP and acoustic stuff on disc 2. This is something that you need to get, even if you just have you know what, you need to get Seth Swirsky albums and you need to get this. You don't need to buy the 2 Red Buttons albums individually anymore. Well, I'm not going to get rid of mine because I hang on to everything, you know, because it's the 2 separate albums. But if you haven't bought them yet, you can get, this is pretty much the best of the Red Button, or you can call it the Red Button Anthology, or you can call it the Red Buttons Complete Collection, whatever. It's absolutely fabulous, and you should own it.
Look, I grew up watching Red Buttons on TV. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, you know, every time I look at that, all I can think about is Poseidon Adventure and Dean Martin roasts. He was actually kind of a funny guy. He doesn't have any more. I want to, you know what? I'm going to save the rest for later. We're going to end with the red button. I would like to thank Ronnie Barnett for stopping by. And you know what? I'm not even going to edit this thing. I'm going to leave everything in. This is the longest, but is it Power Pop? But we had so much to talk about, and I keep looking down at the little counter and going, "Please, Lord, I hope I pushed record," because we've got 25 minutes here, and then I think Ronnie would probably need to drink another couple glasses of champagne or something before we continue another one. But anyway. Ronnie, would you like to bid?
Thank you. Yeah, that was a quick 25 minutes. It's an honor to be a guest.
Yeah,
One of the best shows on YouTube or wherever this is.
Thank you very. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube. Just right now, it's in Foothill Farms, Sacramento. But thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Julie. And smell you later. Go ahead, Ronnie. You got to do it.
It's a cut.
No, Ronnie.
What?
Smell you later.
I can't say it.
Okay.